Hello friends, for the first time in Know the History, the moon is about to receive a 4G cellular network, marking a groundbreaking shift in space communication. Spearheaded by Nokia Bell Labs in collaboration with NASA, this revolutionary network will soon be deployed on the lunar surface, transforming how we explore and communicate in space. This development opens a new chapter in humanity's quest to venture further into the cosmos, and the moon is just the beginning. However, what's raising eyebrows and fueling is the mysterious phantom signal, a strange recurring signal emanating from the moon. Time and again, this signal has been detected, sparking serious questions. Could it be the remnants of an unknown civilization on the moon? Or perhaps a leaked signal from secret military establishment? What exactly is causing this unusual phenomenon? Stay tuned as we dive into this mystery. Could this phantom signal be a sign of something extraordinary, or something more earthly and unexplained? As the mystery surrounding the phantom 4G signal intensifies, speculation continues to swirl about its true origin. Could this be the first tangible clue to a hidden chapter in lunar history? Or is it simply a glitch in the systems that keep Earth and space in constant communication? NASA has continued to downplay the significance of the anomaly, suggesting that the signal could be the result of natural phenomena, such as ionospheric disturbances or electromagnetic interference from solar radiation. However, the inclusion of encrypted messages in specific geographical coordinates has raised concerns that this may be no ordinary interference. While we are confident that this is not a result of any malfunction on our part, we are closely monitoring the situation, said Dr. Emily Farrow, a NASA communications specialist. The encrypted messages and coordinates are being analyzed by our cybersecurity team, but we're keeping all possibilities open. The coordinates of phantom signals point to a location near the moon's south pole, where previous missions have detected strange heat signatures. Some researchers have theorized that these anomalies could be linked to the presence of ice deposits, which would be invaluable for future lunar exploration and even potential colonization. But if these heat signatures are being artificially manipulated, it raises the possibility that there could be more advanced, hidden technologies, big corporate offices, or military bases already operating on the moon. Meanwhile, the presence of private space companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin in the race to establish lunar bases adds another layer of complexity. Could one of these companies have secretly launched a mission to set up a communication network or infrastructure ahead of schedule? Or could a rival space agency, such as China's CNSA, be responsible for the mysterious signal? But what's more surprising that this unusual signal appeared just weeks before the official start of the Artemis program's deployment phase. Now, what's Artemis program that we will understand later in this video? As the world prepares for the groundbreaking technology to be rolled out, some theorists argue that it's possible that other nations or even private entities may have already begun their own lunar projects in secret, decades ahead of publicly known missions. While many others believe that the 4G signal could be a signal from a fully operational base already established on the moon. Some theorists believe that military and corporate interests are already using the moon for purposes far beyond space exploration, such as weaponization or resource extraction. The 4G network could be part of an infrastructure supporting these covert operations, perhaps designed to establish dominance over the moon's untapped resources, such as helium-3, a highly valuable fuel for future energy needs like for stable nuclear fusion reactors. The idea of a militarized or privatized moon isn't new. Rumors persist that space agencies began laying the groundwork for lunar bases as far back as the Cold War. The secrecy surrounding the true purpose of these missions, some argue, points to a global race for control over the moon, with powerful entities keeping their advancements hidden from the public eye. While military interests in space were indeed explored during the Cold War, there is no evidence to support the existence of an active lunar base at this time. The moon is governed by international treaties, including the Outer Space Treaty and the Artemis Accords, which emphasize peaceful exploration and prevent any single entity from claiming ownership of lunar territory. While the Artemis Accords emphasize peaceful cooperation, transparency, and sustainable space exploration, they also place the U.S. and its allies in a dominant position in space. Some critics argue that the Accords could unintentionally lead to a new space race, particularly with China and Russia choosing to opt out and pursue their own lunar ambitions. China and Russia have already announced plans to create a joint lunar base. The absence of these nations from the Artemis Accords could result in a fragmented approach to lunar governance, where competing interests on the moon lead to tensions and competition rather than collaboration. Another theory that has emerged surrounding the deployment of the 4G network on the moon is its potential use as part of a global surveillance system, not just for lunar operations, but also for monitoring Earth. The moon's vantage point allows for an unparalleled observation of Earth's activities, including communications, military operations, and even private activities. Some fear that once the infrastructure is established, it could become a tool for controlling and monitoring people worldwide, especially if operated by private corporations or a few powerful nations. As we move closer to the 2026 deployment of the first 4G network on the moon, the mystery of the phantom signal only deepens. Whether the signal is a product of terrestrial interference, secret operations, or something far stranger, it seems clear that the moon is no longer the quiet, lifeless rock it once appeared to be. The future of lunar exploration, and possibly human civilization, is set to unfold in unexpected ways, and the questions raised by the phantom signal may be just the beginning of a much larger story. With the development of a permanent lunar presence, some worry that the moon could become a platform for future space warfare. The introduction of 4G could be seen as just the first step in establishing infrastructure for future military engagements. With the ability to establish bases and build infrastructure on the moon, nations or corporate entities could potentially use lunar technology for offensive or defensive space operations. The moon's strategic position could allow for control over the Earth-Moon communication lines, or even the ability to launch strikes on satellites and space stations. This theory is bolstered by the increasing militarization of space, as demonstrated by the creation of the U.S. Space Force in 2019. With more advanced technologies and greater access to space, the potential for conflict in space, including the moon, is a real consideration. The successful deployment of 4G on the moon could be the first step toward creating a much larger interplanetary communication network. Once the infrastructure is in place on the moon, it could serve as a stepping stone for communication systems on Mars and beyond. The moon's 4G network might one day be integrated into a broader solar system-wide digital network, allowing for seamless communication between Earth, the moon, Mars, and even asteroids or distant space stations, making the mining business easy and accessible. Some experts believe that the success of the lunar 4G network will ultimately pave the way for deeper space exploration, helping humanity become a multiplanetary species. Then, there's the most tantalizing theory of all. Could the signal be coming from something or someone far older than anything humanity has yet discovered? Conspiracy theorists are suggesting that the moon could harbor evidence of an ancient civilization, one that existed long before humans reached space. They point to unexplained artifacts spotted in satellite images, as well as strange structures photographed during unmanned lunar missions. The thought of advanced technology being left behind by unknown visitors is a captivating yet unsettling notion. Could the encrypted messages be a form of communication from this lost civilization? While the idea remains far from proven, it's fueling a growing interest in the history of the moon and our understanding of its role in the broader universe. So what do you think? The moon will remain a peaceful exploration hub, or could it become the next frontier in global power struggles? If you liked the video, then hit the share button and subscribe.